Hello everyone, my name is Crow, and this is the Ars Nouveau 1.21 test server. This is episode 4. We've done a fair amount of work between episodes. As we can see, I'm still invisible. Um, so we've done a fair amount of work between episodes. I did some cleaning up of the base, and then I also did a couple of other things here. I'll show you. Um, So one of the biggest things is my storage system is pretty much set up. Um, I I still can't figure out exactly what the proper recipe to get these framed drawers to look like the regular dark oak drawers. I mean I feel like this is pretty close. But it's not exact. But either way, I think it's pretty much complete. Um, This storage lectern is linked into the storage controller first, and then into the secondary sophisticated storage controller here, which is linked wirelessly using the storage tool. And then this is actually connected to this last um, diamond barrel um, as a last kind of uh, last ditch effort, or not last ditch effort, but as a final filter. So basically, anytime anything comes into the storage system, you'll try and put it into the drawer system first, and then it'll try and put it into this storage controller, and then it'll put it into here. So what this means is, for example, rabbit hides and raw rabbits are now coming into my system. So I'm going to make sure that they are filtered appropriately. So, and there we go. So now anytime something else comes in here, it will get sent into the drawer controller, and those rabbit pieces will no longer make their way into here. I do have to add in a bunch of, like I have sticks over here. I think they're, uh, yeah, so I have some sticks over here I need to deal with and maybe put like a void upgrade on them. I'm still really kind of low on some of these basic materials like copper, um, and that. I do need to upgrade those, and then I need to have some kind of auto crafting so I can start making things a little bit easier. But eventually, all these drawers will have some kind of void upgrade on them and some kind of extra storage upgrade on them as well. Because like this only has, like this can only hold 512 carats, so it's basically immediately full. So okay. So also what I did is, I don't know if I showed this last time, but I created a warp index. And the warp index is a pretty easy recipe. This is what I was kind of working towards with getting all those ender pearls. It's a pretty easy recipe, just some eyes of ender and some source gems, and I already had the bookworm charms. Um, but what the warp index does is it allows me to have wireless access to a storage lectern. This does need to be loaded. So if I like just go shooting off into, the unknown for a couple thousand blocks, then it won't connect anymore. But um, as long as it's loaded, then I can connect to this wirelessly. I can also upgrade this once I have netherite and nether stars to a stabilized warp index, which will allow me to do this cross dimensionally. So which is kind of cool. So that's definitely something that I'll kind of need to work on. What else? I did explore the end a little bit. I got a fair amount of gear. I got a couple elytras, some fairly decent like diamond gear, and a couple like good pickaxes and stuff. So I do need to kind of go through basically and make sure that what I'm using is like good and reasonable. We have Super Factory Manager in here, so I can pull off enchantments by using the anvil and the obsidian, throwing it on with a book. And so I've been collecting, some of these books, like a bunch of mana boost and protections and stuff like that. So that is also something I will have to do. And I know that last season on the Ars Nouveau test server, Zeeg 777 He had actually created maybe it wasn't last season, but he had created what he called a CompuChanter, because a lot of these enchanting books or enchanting recipes can be made using the Ars Nouveau enchanting apparatus. Like if you wanted to just do a flame bow, you can either take that bow, stick it in a regular enchanting table and hope, or you can just take that bow or a book and throw it into a enchanting apparatus with some fire essence, air essence, and blaze rod. So it's a really good way to get a for sure result. It can be kind of complicated. Um, I was kind of getting some information on how to do it, and just writing down some of the recipes. And there is something like 100 odd recipes, so it's definitely not like a small undertaking. But I think I would like to make a CompuChanter. So I might take that on, but we'll see. What else? Oh, down here. So I had a whirly sprig. I made a whirly sprig. He's also apparently very unhappy. Okay. And a Drygmy, and then an extra amethyst golem. And I kind of made this area down here underneath this main platform, and this is going to be kind of like my farming area. So the whirly sprig, the Drygmy, and the golem will all kind of farm their respective items. The whirly sprig, he um, basically he just takes, like, he made a grass block there. Um, he will harvest all of these natural things, and he harvests them by like fake punching them. And so these archwood leaves, or these regular leaves over here, he'll harvest them and he'll try and get a drop from it. But because he harvests by like fake punching, he'll only get either a sapling or a stick. So he won't actually harvest the leaves themselves. He can harvest the logs, and he can harvest the fruit. Um, and he can harvest, like, what's this over here? He can harvest beetroots. Should make those grow. But I think if he harvests this, he's only going to get the seeds. So he can't actually harvest the beetroot yet until they're grown up. I think that's how it works. Um, I have some. I basically have planted a bunch of crops over here so that he can hopefully harvest a bunch of these things. And I have some cactus here as well. So even just like some cherry logs, and he'll do things out of the ground as well. So like I do have acacia logs coming in, and some mangrove logs, and some pumpkins. So I think he does chorus flowers, but I'm not 100% sure. I don't think I don't think he is, but we'll see. But this is weird. He's supposed to like things more if he has a lot more natural blocks around him, which he has a ton. So we'll see. But he, this is his flower here, and so he'll basically stuff everything that he makes into this barrel, which is beside a storage lectern. And as we know, storage lecterns will automatically pull in from an adjacent inventory. So anything that gets stuffed in here will automatically get pulled into my storage system, which is linked to my main storage system over here. So it acts as kind of like a wireless import situation. The Drygmy does the exact same thing, except he does it with jars. So he will fake um he will fake kill a blaze, fake kill a cow, sheep, enderman. He will do all those things and then put the results in this barrel. Same type of thing. The difference for him is that this is his little henge. I have put this arcane platform over here, which will allow him to, when he fake kills something, he'll use this butcher knife. So he's already used it a couple times. It does use the durability to do it. But what that means is, like, if I'm gonna make tallow, So tallow is only made by from occultism is only made by killing sheep and pigs and cows with that butcher knife. Otherwise, you normally just can't even produce the tallow automated. And so this will allow me to kind of do that, which is kind of nice. And then the golem just harvests the sort of quartz just like normal. So, and this is again the flawless one that I found in something. I found it somewhere. So, yeah. So this is kind of like my little farming area. I'll make it a little prettier. And so far, I have a rabbit, a wither skeleton, sheep. That's a squid up there. A parrot. This is how I can get feathers. Blaze, cow, and what is this? Enderman? Yeah. So I will need to get a couple more things. I'll need like, gosh, I don't even know what else. Maybe like a slime or something. I don't know. We'll see. Okay. Okay. So, but anyways, that's kind of the different changes we've made. So what's the plan for today? Well, today I'd actually like to do some work on occultism. So occultism is one of my favorite mods. I really really love it. I need the occultism book. I think I do have. So we need the dictionary of spirits. And then we're gonna need a bunch of andesite, I think. Bunch of andesite. Hmm. We'll have to see how this is going. Okay. Okay. And andesite is one of those things where you need a bunch of sorry, occultism is one of those things where you need a bunch of space. So let's look in the dictionary of spirits. Okay. Okay, so we grew the otherworld fruit. All right. And we made spirit fire. So if we throw a demon's dream fruit and then light it with the flint and steel, then it'll make this spirit fire, which does burn infinitely. Um, I think before you used to have to light it on fire on netherrack, but no longer. It will burn infinitely. Um, and so this is kind of like the main early game crafting mechanic. And we basically need to just throw things in the fire to convert it. So if I want to make other stone, just throw it into the fire, and you can do a stack at a time. It's great. Um, this is how we make the different chalks. We make the impure ones, and then we purify it in the fire. Um, we can make these different binding books in the fire, and some different oak saplings, some purified ink, other flowers. Interesting, interesting. They um, so they really updated a bunch of these things. Um, because the old occultism only had like 4 chalks, and they've really updated the number of chalks. Um, yeah, so still not like a ton of things to throw in the spirit fire. So it's probably not even worth like um, really automating it. Um, okay, but we saw that we can take oak saplings and throw them in the fire, and the reason we do that is so we can make um, some of these like twisted, I think they're called twisted saplings or something. But if you'll notice up here, oak leaves, these ones are from occultism, whereas regular oak leaves will just say oak leaves from Minecraft. So if I break this, nothing happens. And if I get something out of it, then it'll just be an oak leaf. But if I eat the demon's dream, you can see now that they're purple. So now if I break something and get something out of it, now I get a occultism oak sapling. So, um, let's see, third eye. Okay. So what I need to do is I need to And the same thing the works with the oak logs. So, if I want to get otherworld log, I do have to do it while I'm under the effects of that third eye. However, I think there's a better way to do it. Uh, okay, so I can make this otherworld essence, and this is made by throwing this demon's dream essence into a spirit fire, and this is just crafting together like demon's dream fruit and the seeds to make this. Um, because when I eat the demon's dream fruit, it's not 100% that I'll get the effect, but this maybe it'll last longer too. Oh yeah, this lasts for a whole minute. So this is definitely the better way to go about it. All right, so I have a bunch of the other stone and a bunch of the otherworld logs. So now I can actually start my my crafting things that I need to do. Um, I have let me make a smelting recipe here. All right, so this is my smelter. So my first step is going to go and make some chalk, and I should make a white chalk. And it's just gonna be burnt otherstone and otherworld ashes. This is just in the spirit fire, and then the burnt otherstone is just smelted. So, all right, and then okay, all right, and now I have white chalk. Perfect. I think I can make yes. So I can make some sacrificial bowls. I think I'll need 5 for now, and then I need to upgrade this to a golden sacrificial bowl. Oh, interesting. Silver, copper. I wonder if this is just a interesting. A lot of things changed about occultism. So, okay, so we're gonna do our first ritual here, and the first ritual is going to involve usually a crusher. So the golden sacrificial bowl always goes in the middle. We're gonna look at some of these. Uh, okay, so let's look at the. What are we gonna do here? Pentacles. Okay. So we basically have 4 different kinds of pentacles, and they can be stacked on top of each other horizontally, right? So like Aviar's Circle is the same thing as Ophix's Calling, Abra's Conjure, um, all across here. Same with these ones and then these ones. And basically these ones, these circles will summon things. This will um, create a mob with that demon inside, and then this will create an item. So if I wanted to like create a soul gem, I'm going to need a Strigger's Higher Binding, and a soul gem is like a mob yoinker or mob capture tool. Whereas if I want to summon like an actual mob, like a demon to be a crusher demon, then I would need here. Whereas if I wanted to create like a souped up wither skeleton, I would need here because I need the possession. So it's kind of like 3 different types of stuff here. All right, so here we go though. Aviar Circle, and we can see that it's a relatively simple circle here, just only one color chalk. And I need some candles as well. Oh, I don't have candles. However, I can... I do have that tallow coming in, so I can make some candles here. All right, and then this is complete. And then I just have to have these sacrificial bowls in like a relatively close area around here. And then that's AVR circle. So let's look at what we need for the AVR circle. What are we going to do? So I need to make I should probably make a crushing, right? First one is a foliate crusher. And this is going to need raw iron, raw silver, raw gold, and raw copper into a foliate binding book. Okay, and we can create that foliate binding book 2 different ways. We can either throw the book and quill into the fire, and this will make a empty binding book. Or we can take the different things together, because you know a book and quill is ink sac, feather, and book together. We can get those individually, right? Like the book and the spirit fire, and the feather and the spirit fire. So you can do those individually and craft those together as well. But the foliate binding is just a blue dye. So let's see. Oh, I need blue. Oh, I guess I don't have a good... I should probably do something to get a better source of blue dye. Okay, and then the last thing that needs to happen is I need to craft this together with the Dictionary of Spirits to make the bound book. And then this will also give you can see that it now has a name associated with it. Let me sleep real quick. Okay, so let's see what's the different ore we need. Hopefully I have some. Okay, so I needed iron, gold, copper, and then silver. And these things do get consumed, even if you interrupt the ritual. So it's always a good idea to just don't interrupt the ritual. We can see that the ritual is working. We do have the purple particles. Some of the rituals do require you to like sacrifice things or use specific items. So okay, I'm gonna let this guy cook here, and I'm gonna prepare over here. Okay. Oh, it's almost done. All right. Hey, buddy. So if you shift right click this guy, you can actually give him things. I think he'll just throw that on the ground because a dirt is not a viable thing. But we have the carry-on at our mod. Oh, I don't know if I can. Oh, shoot. Oh, looks like okay, let me get this. Okay, I'm gonna... So the carry-on mod allows us to pick up tile entities, and so I can normally, like, I can pick up a sheep and whatever. And so I had been bringing things over here to my ritual brazier, which has the tablet of containment in it. But what I can do instead is I can bring, here we go. And this should stick him in there. There we go. And let me put it back up here. Okay, and I think I can source jar. And this, all these rituals, you can turn them off with redstone control, so it's really kind of nice. Okay, so now that this guy is in a containment jar, normally he's just captured. However, because I have a, we have the Ars Occulta mod on the server, which is a, okay, let me make a hopper. So we have the Ars Occulta mod on the server, which allows us to use these, even though they're in containment jars, which is really nice because some of these mobs just love to just wander around. And so this will prevent that from happening. So for example, this guy, let me stick him up here in my, kind of my area over here where I'm doing all my, kind of my resource generation. And so I can take a raw gold and I can pipe directly into him. Normally I would have to like shift right click and, or just throw it on the ground near him. But that means I can pipe things now, which is amazing for like automation. He's very slow. But that's okay. And he will double ore output. So the only problem with him is that he does throw stuff on the ground. So I have my crusher. He's in the jar. He's making crushed things like endstone. And what else do we need? Okay, let's look at the next step here. I have candles, chalks. This is what I did here. Better chalks. Okay. Let's look at the different chalks we are going to need access to. So the yellow chalk. How to make yellow chalk? Okay, impure yellow chalk is going to be gold dust and glowstone dust, which I can now make. So I have glowstone already, and then I just made that gold dust. So now I have yellow chalk. I'm going to need some purple chalk. I have a feeling I will need purple chalk. I do need some obsidian dust, and then I have that endstone. All right, got my purple chalk. All right, and then chalk. See, there's a bunch of chalks. Things we do need to be aware of is the chalk mod itself. These chalks don't count. They count as dyes as far as anything is really concerned. Um, let's see. Impure red chalk is going to need, torch flowers. These actually should be easy to get. A Frit essence, got to do that. Purple chalk, just need a little bit of obsidian dust. He's so slow. Oh, interesting. He must have thrown it straight up into the air. Interesting. Okay. But now I can make the purple chalk. And these are like the three basic chalks. I do need let's see here. Okay, so I have Aviar Circle. So I would need purple chalk for here, which I can do. Okay. Foliate miner, infused lenses. Storage actuator, stable wormhole, storage stabilizer. Oh, so these are all like the possessed things. Like the possessed skeleton will always drop a skeleton skull. So I really should do that. Um, that's Haydiran's Lure. Okay, and so now I have my obsidian dust. Now I really wonder if I can make dust another way. Because normally the only way you can make obsidian dust is bring it in a foliate crusher, but it looks like I can crush it with the crush glyph. So let's see if I can make a crush glyph real fast. And as this is flatten, crush. Perfect. So I had stuck the stuff in here, so it was an earth essence, a grindstone, and I think a thing of dirt or something. I don't know. So now I have access to the crush glyph. Okay, so now that I have the crush glyph, I can actually use my conjure terrain spell. I have this dirt spell, which basically just is a projectile conjures dirt. But if we look here, we can see that it will place sand if it's followed by crush. So if we now that we have crush, we can where'd it go? Crush. And so now will this make sand? Yes. So now I have infinite sand production. One of the really cool things that we can do is we can automate it using a bottom slab or some other kind of thing to make things pop off and turn into item form, which is nice. And I know in a previous series I had like a whole huge thing where I had like um, it was like a 8x8 of sand being produced all in one shot. So that might be cool because it'll just make one stack at a time. And it's honestly not too bad on the source production because I can throw this on a turret, which would be nice. Um, all right, so I think that's going to be it for today, though. I have the very basics of occultism started. Between episodes, I'll create because I don't want to rip out this whole circle. I will because I'm going to need 3 different circles, right? Um, Probably 4 if I do this one. But I'm basically going to need 3 different circles at a minimum. I think these do need to be 19 by 19. So they are going to be big. Yes, 19. Yeah, I'm going to need 4 19 by 19 areas. So that's what this is. That's why this blue cross is kind of designating that. So I'll make a couple more areas. And then what I will do is we'll come back next time and do a little bit more of an advanced work for the occultism rituals, and maybe get into some of the familiars, some of the occultism familiars, not just the bookworm familiars. Because that I think would be really, really good. And then also maybe I'll do some cleaning up of this guy. That'd be nice. So, anyways, thanks for watching. If you have any tips or tricks or any questions, then please leave them down below. Otherwise, I'll see you next time. Take care.